order. Please rise for the pledge of the flag. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. With roll call, all members are present. Is Anik online?
I am.
Well, hello, Anik.
Hello.
Are you feeling any better?
A little bit, just kind of exhausted.
Thank you for being here. Agenda item 2, executive session. We had an executive session before this meeting tonight. The purpose was personnel.
There's also an executive session.
And we'll also have an executive session after the meeting tonight for the purpose is a legal consultation. Agenda item 3, public comment. Public comment at the first part of the meeting is restricted to comments about any of the agenda items. We have a second public comment at the end for other items. Is there any public comment concerning any of the agenda items? Nothing online? If no comment, move to agenda item 4, presentations, recognitions, and reward. Dr. Finnerty.
Good evening. I see Mrs. Frasca in the back. So, Mrs. Frasca, would you be so kind to come up to the podium? It's my understanding that you're going to introduce us to some wonderful middle school students with a presentation for Future City. Oh, Mr. Palladino's here. Excellent.
So first off, good evening, everybody. How's everybody doing tonight? Good? All right, so I'm here tonight to introduce our Future City team here from the middle school. Before I get a chance to let them speak about the project that they put together and the competition that they were in, I'm just going to tell a quick story, okay? So I'm going to take you guys back to 1998, all right? I was in 8th grade, okay? And believe it or not, I participated in a competition very similar to what these middle schoolers participated in just a few weeks ago. So 1998, I was in the advanced math class in 8th grade, okay, believe it or not, all right? And as part of that, my cohort of students, when we were in our tech ed class, we took an adapted tech ed class. And one of the things that we were tasked with doing is putting together a future city model, pretty much. And so our cohort was pretty much sliced down the middle. You had one team with one tech ed teacher. We had 2 at the time. And one team with the other tech ed teacher. They rolled out the old Mac computers. We used SimCity as our blueprint for these cities. And then we designed our model city. Now, our city we were pretty proud of. We had a vehicular system that used very little energy. We used gravity for it, okay? And so it was an orbital vehicle that would go down pretty much some type of tubing, piping, you know. We represented it with a marble, some plastic tubing, okay? We were really proud of this at the time. Well, part of our cohort being sliced down the middle is teachers then got to vote on which city would then go represent we didn't necessarily participate in the Future City actual competition, but there was one similar to it that we sent student representatives to. Our city was not selected, okay? Our teachers thought it was a good compromise to still include our vehicular system in their model, though. So us as 8th graders were like, we were kind of shocked, like, oh, they're stealing our idea and they're going to represent it. Now, I tell you this story today, not because I'm still upset about that, but really what that did was it created an experience for me, an experience that still, almost 30 years later, I remember, and I can tell you some pretty vivid details from. Overall, an assignment like that or an experience like that, it helps build innovation, it helps build creativity, but most of all, it builds teamwork. And, teamwork and working together with others is such a skill that, you're going to need for the workforce, and that these guys got a chance to experience every day in their classroom with Mrs. Frasca. So I'm going to introduce these three members to you and let them kind of take over. We have Haley Andrews, a 7th grader, Zach Abear, an 8th grader, and Alan Matthews, an 8th grader. Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Hi everyone, my name is Haley Andrews and I'm part of the Pottsgrove Middle School Future City team. You might be asking, what is Future City? Future City is an engineering competition in which the gifted students at Pottsgrove Middle School participate. The basic idea is to build a futuristic city based on the theme of the year's competition. This model, which we named Seaview City, was for this year's theme of floating cities. We spent months working on every aspect of this project, from the planning to the essay to the model. We even took a field trip to Longport, New Jersey, which is the actual city on which we based our project. On that field trip, we saw the boats, docks, and other aspects of how the city operates. We met with a city planner and the owner of GPS Charting, in charge of charting the marina floor. Another expert we met with was a biochemist who worked with genetically modifying algae. Meeting with these experts gave our team the insight to create this innovative city. Our team also wants to give a huge thanks to our engineering mentor, Mr. Nippert. We wouldn't even be able to have a Future City team without him. Thank you for being a part of our team, Mr. Nippert. And we want to present to you the hat and shirt for the competition.
I'm gonna sit down. My legs are tired. I know you guys just clapped, but can we all give Mr. Nippert a hand for being our mentor all these years? I've been doing this competition for 3 years, and Mr. Nippert has been a great help preparing us for this competition. I don't know what the gifted students would have done without the Future City, because there's not many ways to express creativity in middle school, and this competition was a great way for us to do that. Future City is a perfect combination of STEM and logical thinking. We had to write a 1,500-word essay and build a scale model. This competition required us to be more time efficient than we normally are, which is not something we ever spend time learning. Future City gave the team the opportunity to be hands-on throughout the school day, which was helpful for kids that learn on their feet. Hands-on learning also means that there is a lot of trial and error, so problem-solving became an everyday activity.
As the competition was on floating cities, our team knew that from the start, we were going to use real water to make our city float. This posed challenges, of course, ones our team overcame and perfected through our 3-month timeline. The first challenge was the wood top and what we used to color the docks. Our first iterations left the top of the docks exposed to the water, warping them into an unnatural state. We used markers to color the docks, which led to it bleeding and coming off when we put it in the water. We overcame this by flex sealing them both. Another challenge we faced was the docks themselves. Attaching them directly to the main docks led to them having no freedom of motion and getting stuck in the water. We eventually figured out that attaching them loosely by string was better because they were able to individually float. One of our other problems was the box. The box we use to put our city in is covered with layers of Flex Seal and industrial-grade waterproof plastic. We had instances of leakages throughout the construction, but with time, they were patched. At the competition, we put water in and pumped it out. Unfortunately, due to the logistics of this environment, We were unable to put it in water today. At the competition, we won 2 awards. Best Transportation Planning Award and Best Energy Source Award. We're very happy and proud of our team. Thank you all for having us today.
Would you be so kind that we can get a picture with the team?
Come on, get in. Yeah. Really? There you go. That's the way. Okay, I want to say a few words. Can I say something? As it was described, this is a model city on the beach. And one of the things this team decided to do was they wanted to represent the model accurately using, and it's a beach. So you got water. Well, that's not a big deal. But you've got water and you've got beach. So you've got sand. So this model represents how this beachfront city is going to react to the tide. And so what we had here was clearly not the prettiest city that we have ever built, but we had here a working model, a working prototype of a model with water coming in and sand coming out. And these students did an excellent job in figuring out the problems. And as an engineer, you know, I've had to pump slurries around. They figured out the problems of how to deal with water. There were 50 teams at least. And Deborah, you probably know. This was the only one that had working water. And yeah, I said it before, I'll say it again. This isn't the prettiest model you're going to see. But it's a real working prototype. You did an excellent job taking their problem, adding some complexity to it because everybody else had loose side sheets to represent the water. You worked with real water and real sand, which doesn't sound like much, but it is a challenge to make this thing work. And I'm proud to have worked with each of you. You've done an excellent job. I don't care where you go with your careers. You've approached the problem and solved it and come forward with what is a very challenging solution. You know, and I'm going to wrap it up now because I'm not going to stay dry. Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you to the three of you for your development and construction of Seaview City. And Chuck, congratulations. Thank you for your continued support with this group and your acknowledgement. Agenda item number 5 is the report from our student board representatives, Cecilia and Adam. Cecilia, first year in competition, and you did good.
Let me see. So that was actually our first thing that I was going to talk about. So our varsity cheerleading program participated in the Golden Panthers, which is PJP if you don't know, Invitational on Sunday, February 2nd. We won second place in the varsity game day division. This is the first time in school history where our cheerleaders competed in a game day specific competition. More information on future events and possible future competitions and pictures from the past competition can be found on our Instagram, which is at Pottsgrove Cheer. And we would like to send a special thanks to the middle school cheer team, as well as Coach Gina and Coach McKenna for coming out and supporting. They all had bows in and were all very cute and cheering for us, so that was really nice to have them there.
All right, I'm gonna go. So our Pottsgrove prom themes have officially been sent out, and we have a winner, which I'll reveal at the end of our listing. So our first theme, Starry Night, our galactic, sort of like space. The Great Gatsby, the Roaring '20s kind of. Retro Rewind, like the '80s and '70s, right? Casino Night. We have, and our final one, which is our winner, Evening in Greece. So it's gonna be a very nice prom, I think.
Mine's very sportsy tonight. Just seems like been the common theme for me. I'd like to congratulate our varsity basketball team on earning the #1 seed for PAC playoffs, which was the PAC Final Six tournament. They played against PJP at Perkiomen Valley on February 6th, where we sadly lost 63-73. However, we will not let the loss define the rest of our season, and we will be moving on to districts. Our first district playoffs game will be played at home on Wednesday, February 19th.
All right, and then back to sports. We're going to talk about our Unified Bocce team. Our Unified Bocce team won their senior game last Tuesday. This year we had our highest winning streak ever. So I'd like to shout out our coach, Miss Scott. Thank you, Miss Scott, and Miss McCaffrey. And then I would also like to shout out our seniors and congratulate them this year. We have Julius Datillo, Charles Greco, Lexi Arcilla, Sean Sherelds, Isaiah Massamora, and Jonathan Spot. So you guys were great this year, and we're going to miss you. So thank you.
I'd also like to thank Coach Bill Hawthorne and Mr. Ansbach for encouraging our student body to come out and support the basketball team by providing fan buses. These buses allowed students wanting to travel to the away games to support our team to have free transportation to and from the game. Thank you for ensuring that our students are supported and have the opportunity to attend these games. These fan buses will be available during the remainder of the district playoff season if we were to be away, and QR codes were placed around the high school with additional information. And I think that's all from us tonight.
How about that? Thank you, Cecilia and Adam. Any questions for our student board reps?
I do have one. I hear we have a faculty bocce tournament coming up. Is that true?
Yeah, it's tomorrow, actually. So you guys should go spectate. It's going to be a lot of fun.
2:30, right?
I believe so, yeah.
We also have our NHS volleyball tournament coming up where we do have a teacher team. So that's another thing that's coming up. I think it's February 25th, but I'll have to let you know on that one. Or 21st. I don't know. It's one of the 28th. I don't know.
That's me beeping. I press it too long or something. Agenda item number 7 is the report from, excuse me?
Superintendent report.
Oh, agenda item 6. I was looking at a report from the superintendent, Dr. Finnerty.
Thank you and good evening. I have 2 items that I'd like to share. PMEA District 11 Choir. So Pottsgrove Middle School played host to the Pennsylvania Music Educators Association District 11 Choir Festival this past Saturday. 9 Pottsgrove students participated. You'll recognize all of these fine people because they came here and have sung for us. Maren Campbell, Ethan Chambers, Ray Gray, Emily Gomez, Haley Harner, Lindsay Palmer, Kelsey Renner, Kristen Rivera, and Savannah Van Horn. So they were part of, I don't know how many students were there, but it was well over 200. Well, okay, wow, I would have guessed, clearly I did guess well over 200. 3 of our students, Ethan, Haley, and Ray, will be moving on to regional choir next month. I do want to thank our amazing music department for hosting this event, especially our high school choir director, Miss Amy McMahon. Also want to thank our facilities and technology department for all their work to facilitate installation of our new audio system. And lastly, that brings you back to the board. I want to thank you all for supporting the renovations that took place, and they were done in time for this festival. So for the people at home, our board recognized the need for improvements of the audio system at the middle school auditorium and took action and allowed our team to get the necessary renovations done in time for this. And I was in the back of the auditorium. It sounded phenomenal. It was really powerful. So we have a really good system. I invite you, it'll next be on display when we have our middle school musical, which is coming up in the not too distant future. So that was one thing. And the second thing is I just wanted to talk briefly about our audit. So every year, school districts in Pennsylvania are required to do what's called a single audit, and that is an audit of our financial statements. We are later than we normally have. This normally takes place in December or in some years January. We're a little later than we have been. That was due to some changes in our business department and some software, but we do anticipate having that audit for the board in March. Mr. Linke has done a wonderful job since stepping in and getting us prepped for that audit. And we've turned we've turned over the necessary financial reports, and our third-party auditor is working through that now. And that's all I have for this evening.
Thank you, Dr. Finnerty. Agenda item 7, approval of minutes.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve all of 7.
Motion to approve 7.1 through 7.3. Those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. Item number 8, granting of orders.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve payment of invoices in the amount of $1,877,815.73 from January 1st, 2025 through February 11th, 2025 as presented.
Motion and a second to approve the granting of orders for January 2025. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Agenda item 9, personnel.
I'd like to make a motion, we combine and approve 9.1 and 9.2.
Motion and a second to approve personnel items 9.1, miscellaneous staff, change in position, and 9.2, miscellaneous staff appointments. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. 9.3, retirements and resignations.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 9.3.
Move in second to approve 9.3, professional staff, retirements and resignations. Any discussions?
I would just like to wish them the best in their retirement life.
Thank you, Patty. Anything else? Those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. 9.4, support staff appointments.
I'd like to make a motion to approve 9.4 through 9.8.
Motion and a second to approve 9.4 through 9.8. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? The motion passes. 9.9, athletic appointments.
I will be abstaining from this as my husband's a coach.
Thank you, Patty.
All right, so I would like to make a motion to, I'm sorry, I lost it there. What? 9.9. I'm still trying to find it here. Okay. Okay, I'd like to make a motion for 9.9, supplemental staff athletic appointments.
Motion and a second to approve 9.9, supplemental staff athletic appointments. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes.
Patty, you abstained, correct?
Yes, I did.
That's an interesting way of abstaining.
Agenda item 10, action items, 10-1, the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit membership budget.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 10.1.
Motion and a second to approve 10.1, the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit membership budget.
I need to take an individual vote on this.
We need a roll call vote on this. So do we do discussion before or after? We do discussion before roll call vote. Any discussion before we do a roll call vote? If none, then Ashley, you want to call the roll, please?
Aye. Aye.
Apologies. Anik, are you, what would your vote be?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I figured, but, and Lewis? Yes. All right, we're all good.
Thank you. Moves us to Agenda 10.2, Student Affiliation Agreement with Pediatric Therapeutic Services.
I'd like to make a motion, we combine and approve 10.2 along with 10.3.
Motion and a second to approve 10.2 and 10.3. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Oppose? Motion passes. Action item number 11, education, the 24-25 Ethos Counseling Contract.
I'd like to make a motion, we approve 11.1.
Motion and a second to approve 11.1 Ethos Counseling Contract. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Item 12, Montgomery County Intermediate Unit Board Update. Neek, are you there?
I'm here.
It's all yours.
Okay, thank you. I'm going to be a little brief with this one. The MCIU board met on January 22nd, 2025. We started the meeting out with a program highlight, a presentation on the role of IT services in strengthening MCIU's foundation and providing consortium pricing. It was board recognition, school board directors recognition month, so we got recognized. They approved some final approval of about 9 policies, first reading of another 9 policies. There were appointments and budget approvals, including the 2024 to 2025 budget approvals of some statewide system of support programs. There was revised budget approvals 2024-2025 for programs like early intervention state funds, pre-K counts, speech language extern stipend, Head Start state supplemental program, and Head Start federal funds. There were also a few HR updates, university and school agreements, including an internship approved with East Stroudsburg University, consultant and service agreements for programs like the Success for PA Early Learners and IU Deaf Blind Resource Team. There were also technology and contracted service agreements with approved continuation of contracts for school district supports for the 2024 and 2025 school year. You should all have the update in your emails I sent earlier today. Thank you.
Thank you, Anik. Any questions of Anik? Moves us to item 13, report of the Western Montgomery Career and Technology Center Joint Operating Committee. The Joint Operating Committee met on Monday, February 3rd at 7 p.m. We had a budget presentation from Administrative Director Dave Livingood. Had a lot of discussion about the budget, particularly the goal of the center of increasing enrollment and whether that is reflected in the budget as well as it could be. It was recommended to have monthly updates concerning status of the plan for increasing enrollment going forward. There was an administrative update from Administrative Director David Levingood. He said that the Western Center has received an $80,000 competitive equipment grant, which is being used to purchase a robotic welder, which are really pretty cool. Dave also reported that Skills USA district competition was being held at the Western Center this past Tuesday and Wednesday, February 4 and 5, with 6 career and technology centers participating as well as 2 school districts. Dave is also looking into the possibility or viability is a better word of adding a program for heavy equipment operating. And he visited Burke's Career and Technical Center, who has a similar program, to see how they're doing it, and also explored the possibility, the viability of this program with Limerick Township, because it takes ground, and with the big equipment, it gets noisy with the program. So it's one potential program that could be added in the future to the Western Center. The Career Exploration and Occupation Program is being discontinued because of low enrollment. This is a program that was run by the Montgomery County Intermediate Unit. It may or may not move back to the Intermediate Unit for location, and with the discontinuation, it opens up some space for possible future use and future programs that could be added there. Principal Craig Robinson reported that the co-op program is growing larger and larger. I know personally they just added a co-op experience to the sports medicine program, which is the first time sports medicine has had a co-op program, which is kind of exciting. They are doing it with Rothman through physical therapy and athletic training. Business Manager Donna Wilson reported there's a return of excess funds to the 3 sending school districts, and the amount of money that is coming back to Pottsgrove is $56,845.72 to the penny. There were additional reports. The Personnel Committee met on February 3rd to begin a review of the Act 93 plan, which expires on June 30th and then needs to be renewed. So there's more work coming on that. Policy Committee presented the second reading of 3 policies, which I have listed there, and also the first reading of 15 different policies, which are there from the JOC. In other action, the cosmetology saloon is going to be open during the summer with limited hours on Wednesdays from 8:30 to 3 by appointment only. So it's an option for people to go and get yourself looking better with your hair and your makeup. The Western Center is purchasing control boards for their HVAC units so that they can have better communication with the HVAC equipment at a cost of $10,600. And there's also piping that is leaking glycol, and the repair cost is $1,200. Board members, I got a note from Dave, I think a day or 2 ago. I'm just asking you to hold the date Wednesday, April 9 at 12 p.m. They are tentatively planning a co-op banquet luncheon there, so you get to see the place, see what the culinary students do, and enjoy their food preparation. But more importantly, you get to interact with the co-op employers that are working with our students, and also talk to some of the students there with what they're doing. So it's a nice hands-on experience. Dave's current plan, which again is tentative, is to present all 27 board members. As you know, the board of the Western Center is made up of the entire board of all 3 districts. That's 27 people. Since that's a large group to manage, we have an operating committee, which is 3 board members from each of the 3 districts, or those 9 who sit on the JOC. Next meeting of the JOC is Monday, March 3rd at 7 p.m. Any questions on this meeting, on that meeting?
A quick comment.
Yes, thanks, Patty.
Going back to the cosmetology salon that's going to be opening, remember the students get their hours. So every hour they get closer to getting their license while they're in school. So it's a win-win. So if you want to get your nails done, your hair done, make an appointment.
Thank you. Chuck, anything to add? Thank you. Anything else? Agenda item 14, committee items. We worked to update our committee appointments. Thank you to each of you. We were corresponding by email. The goal I was pressing there is to get 4 people on each of our 5 committees. Thank you to Dr. Lucas for getting the committee names updated that we did with our policy, as well as in the agenda items. You have seen the new appointments that are there. We've sent them out. And this is a voting item? Or it's just an information item?
It's an informational item. You, as board president, have the authority to appoint under policy 005.
Oh, thank you. I feel it. So are there any questions there? I think people are satisfied with the way we have the committees currently set up with 4 on each committee. Louis took on 3 as a beginning. Thank you for doing that. It was your first meeting, and thank you. Moves us to item 14.2, Operations Finance Committee meeting minutes.
I'd like to make a motion, we combine 14.2, 14.3, and 14.4 together.
Motion and a second to approve the minutes of the Operations Finance Committee, the Curriculum Instruction and Technology Committee, and the Athletics Co-Curricular and Community Relations Committee. Any discussion? Those in favor? Aye. Those opposed? Motion passes. Policy Committee report, Dr. Lucas.
All right, good evening. So yes, we had our policy meeting on January 28th. We had 3 policies that were under review. Policy 246 for wellness. This is a policy we've been looking at throughout the year. We have our wellness committee, and they had some suggestions after doing an audit to make sure, that everything's in alignment there. And we are required to look at this policy at least once every 3 years. So we are now moving this forward so that it can be approved. The next policy was policy 823, opioid antagonist. This one was recommended PSBA. There's been some changes to names of things, and this policy used to be called, let me say it right, naloxone, and it has to do with the opioid antagonist that you would administer, if someone was going into an overdose. So that policy was changed. And then we have policy 5, organization, again, recommended by PSBA. And we made some changes. This is the one we referenced earlier, where many of our committee names were also updated in this policy, but it also is in alignment with some updated changes to the law. And those were the 3 policies. We did then talk, after we were done with the policies, just about some of the current events that are going on and how they might impact our policies, meaning some of the recent executive orders from the President of the United States. And we just talked about how, we do know there's a lot of questions right now. We're working through some of those questions, but at this time, we don't have any policies that we're updating or changing. We also don't have any plans to convene any special groups or meetings around any of that. But as things update and change, we're staying very closely attuned to what is coming down from us, and obviously working alongside our legal representation as well. And that is the update from the Policy Committee. Any questions?
Thank you, Dr. Lucas. Moves us to item 15, new business. And we will start with Chuck. Any new business?
No, but I want to go back because I owe several people apologies for earlier, in that the person who, 2 things. Number one, I forgot to mention that the kids' project has something near and dear to my heart as chairman of operations. They have a very limited budget of $100. And that's next to nothing. To design that city and put anything together with $100. And the other point, and I have a sincere apology, the person who's really responsible for any success is really not me. And to a certain extent, it's the enthusiasm of the kids, but a large extent is the outstanding performance of Deborah Frasca, who handles these kids on a day-to-day basis. I go down once a week for an hour or so and get to play professor. But she guides the students on a day-to-day basis. She's an outstanding teacher. I wish I had more like her in my own background. I wish I was more like her. And I think she deserves an awful lot of credit, more so than I or anybody else in the school. And I think Deborah deserves a large part of the accolades for getting the kids through the problems and through the hard times. And I don't know if this is the point where I'm supposed to say that, but I better say it quick because we're nearing adjournment. So thank you.
Thank you, Chuck. Tanya, new business. Anik, any new business?
Yes, I just wanted to let everyone know the Pottsgrove Village is having a Zoom event February 19th, 6:30 p.m. The information is on our website and on our Facebook page. It is the OVR Informational Night. OVR stands for Office of Vocational Rehabilitation, which is a program, an organization that supports students with disabilities, ages 14 to 21, to prepare and succeed in the workforce by helping families find services, resources, guidance, anything available that'll help our kiddos transition from high school into adulthood, whether it's into the workforce or continue in education to advance into the workforce. So that meeting will be February 19th at 6:30 p.m. via Zoom, and you could register online. Thank you.
Thank you, Anik. Patty, new business? Our Vice President, Bill, any new business?
Nothing.
Superintendent Dr. Finn, any new business?
Yes, I do want to apologize. I've actually been texting a little bit during this meeting. We have weather coming, and it looks like we're going to need a 2-hour delay tomorrow. So that messaging will be going out right after this meeting's over. So. Okay.
All right, you're applauding back there? What's that? You want a 3-hour delay? Is there discussion around that? It looks like it's not open for discussion.
Do I hear four? Do I hear four? Four.
You got so excited only to be let down, you know? But thank you. New business for me. My wife and I attended the senior night swim team, which I have not been to a swim meet for more years than most of you have been on Earth, I guess. It was really neat. The camaraderie that was there among our swimmers, and what was really neat for me to see at Pottsgrove is there was a lot of first and second year swimmers mixed with boys and men and women, young men and women who have been swimming for many, many years. And just the sense of camaraderie that was there, not only amongst the Pottsgrove students, but between Pottsgrove and the other team, was really fun to see. They're also long. I didn't realize that swim meets are so long. But shout out to our swimmers and their senior night. Ashley, any new business?
I just want to congratulate the Philadelphia Eagles for winning the Super Bowl. And just if anybody goes to the parade, Good luck. Good luck. I was actually having a conversation with somebody at Costco about it, and they were like, "Oh, my daughter said she's going to go. I told her to wear Depends because she won't have any place to use the bathroom." I was like, and then we went on to talk about it, and they were like, "Well, that's the only thing you can do." I'm like, "No, you could just not go." There's a thought, you know. So, yeah, exactly. So anyway, but if anybody goes, enjoy.
Thank you, Ashley. Where depends is good advice for life. It also shows that the Eagles, the best offensive is a great defense. They just came out, that front four just came out kicking it. Jim, new business.
Not from me, but from student reps. Updates on
Life, school.
things that would embarrass you or what college choices that have been made.
Let me think about it.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll go. Yeah. So far, I've just been working on my club, my project, stuff like that. We're arranged to have an official debate the 24th, I believe. So I've been running all my stuff up, and it's been going pretty well.
How many people do you have in the debate team now?
So it changes per meeting, but we have 25 people signed up for the club. So it'll vary, but highest is 25.
How many of your debates have you won?
I actually haven't participated in any yet.
Oh,
I've just been
Adam.
grading. Yeah.
Let me down.
Yeah, I know. I'm
Do you have
sorry.
some coming up?
Yeah. 24th. Look out.
If you want to record a bit of it, we could play it here.
Okay. I might.
All right. You let us know. Cecilia,
Well, as far as college goes, like it's hard to make a decision now because I have to like wait to hear about like more of the financial stuff. But I'm honestly leaning more towards going to Thomas Jefferson, right now. But we'll see. I don't know. I'll let you know as soon as I know. But we're
and your
finally.
major would be?
I'm gonna go pre-med. So I want to be a doctor. Yeah. I don't know. Just been finishing up with cheer. We've had I swear we've had the longest season I think this year because we were going to district. So we cheer until they're done. So that's basically relying on them to keep me cheering. So we'll see. That's all I have. Nothing interesting.
Was getting involved in competition new for the cheerleaders? They've not done that before. Is it a
So
different
we
experience?
haven't. We did competitions in the past, but it wasn't. So I'll explain a little more. So the game day competition is more like sideline cheerleading. So using signs and our megaphones, and it's less tumbling and stunting, whereas it's more getting the crowd involved and like sign work and stuff like that, which we haven't really done before. Alexis Coomer and her mom got new signs for us. So we have new rectangular PGHS signs that we used, which were really nice. So I'd like to thank them for that. But yeah, it was different for us, and I think that it really taught us how to really work together. Because when you're on the sideline, you're really far apart, and you can't really hear each other because it's so loud over the game. But competition taught us that we have to be louder and work more as a team. So I think that was really good for us. And in the future, they're going to keep competing. So I think it started this year, and they're going to keep going. And the middle school is also wanting to compete now. So they're going to start going down that route as well.
Thank you, Adam and Cecilia. And that's our second life lesson for tonight. Always be louder. And now, for new business, I know, but we're setting this up. New business from our newest board member. Get ready for this, Lewis.
Well, are we allowed to debate the 2-hour delay tomorrow? Or are we allowed to deliberate that, or is that? That's a joke. That's a joke. I know. I heard some calls for 3. No, I just want to thank Adam and Cecilia for those updates. Last meeting, we didn't have student updates, so this is a first for me. But it's really nice to hear what's going on in the schools and with both of you. And I just wish you both the best of luck in your upcoming debate and your college search. So.
Thank you, Lewis. Is there any other business or discussion? If none, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Public comment.
Oh, thank you. We move to our agenda item 16, thank you. Public comment, this can be on anything. Is there any public comment in the room? Anything online? Nothing online? So now we move, if there's no other business, is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Been moved in second for adjournment. All those in favor?
Aye.
Oppose? Meeting is adjourned.